I'm Shanelle Kaul, and this is the Uplift. We have a great show for you today and a great cast of characters, including a 102-year-old who still works at his family business, and you'll be even more impressed by what he does on his days off. A town that got an unexpected gift, millions of dollars, with a very specific instruction about how to use it. We'll show you where the money went. A dog that recently went viral, inspiring thousands of people to give back. Find out why Peanut is getting so much attention. Plus, we take you to a great American monument with many personalities. Any guesses? And David Begnaud is still asking people who believed in you. A powerful story of how two people changed a teenager's life is coming up. All of that and more heartwarming news. You're watching The Uplift. Hey, welcome to The Uplift, the show that's here to lift you up for at least the next 30 minutes. We begin with a 102-year-old man who still drives himself to work, but it's what he does on his days off that's really impressive. Here's Steve Hartman.
Want to sit at the counter here?
Sure.
It is remarkable.
Over here.
Being this able and spry at the age of 102.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
But that is not the story here. It is also extraordinary that George Strassman can still drive at 102. But that is not our story either.
Hi, George.
Nor are we here because George still works 4 days a week at his family construction business. Amazing as that is. Instead, we came here to Great Neck, New York, because of what George does on his day off. For the past 10 years, George Strassman has been taking a pottery class. Why?
I've always worked with my hands. It's an interesting thing to do, and it's challenging to do well.
A challenge his teacher, Rosalie Dornstein, says he has fully embraced.
And that's wonderful. At 102, he still wants to get better.
For him, like so many artists of all skill levels, creating became a compulsion of the spirit, a quest for deeper meaning, for greater beauty, a quest that has no end.
They're not perfectly round. The colors are not great.
George's wife, Nancy, says every week her husband brings home another piece he doesn't like. Today, there are hundreds of rejects, packed in wood cabinets and cardboard boxes, each one a testament to his relentless determination and endless optimism.
Maybe someday I'll get good enough to be happy with it. I'm still not happy with what I do.
What would that day be like for you when you look down and you've created something that you think is beautiful?
Be a great feeling.
Everyone is always searching for the secret to a long and happy life. But at least in George's case, the answer is clear.
I'm offset to here,
You can't leave this earth
which is lousy.
until you're finished.
You're going to have to come back and try again?
Yeah, next week.
Steve Hartman, on the road
I wish I could do that.
in Great Neck, New York.
Coming up, a small town inherits millions of dollars along with instructions from the couple who left it. Stick around to see how this plays out. And why did this puppy go viral? You're going to want to find out about this. Stay with us. This is The Uplift. All right, now let's go to a tiny town in Kansas that was the sole beneficiary in a couple's will. The town inherited millions of dollars, but it came with a caveat. Here's Ian Lee with more.
Frontenac, Kansas isn't the most famous place. Fewer than 3,500 people live here. But its rich history runs as deep as the nearby coal veins. Founded in 1886, it's seen boom and bust. So it's not often the small town gets big news, until in 2019, when City Administrator John Zafuda received an unexpected message.
It was a surprise phone call from an attorney who said that we were the sole beneficiary of the Tavella Family Trust. And the only stipulation was that we had to build a city library.
It was quite a big chunk of change that was being donated.
It was. Ended up being somewhere around 4.6 million.
You heard that right. A whopping $4.6 million. City officials say they've never heard of the Tavelas before, but after some digging, they discovered Richard and Jeanette both grew up in southeast Kansas. Jeanette was raised in Frontenac before moving to Kansas City to work as a librarian. So building her hometown's first public library in its 140-year history was the Tavelas' dying wish, or rather gift.
I like
These four? Okay.
6 years later, the Frontenac Public Library has opened its doors. More than 17,000 books fill the shelves.
What is a community without a library?
That's a really good question. But I think that the community of Frontenac really didn't know what they were missing.
Frontenac native Seth Nutt landed the role of library director. His mission was to turn the Tavelas' dream into reality.
What was the hub for the community before this library was built in Frontenac?
People still gather over at the gas station, in the morning. But there truly wasn't a place for people to gather. The mothers that bring their kids in here in the morning, where did they meet before? I truly think that that's something that we just didn't have available here in the city of Frontenac.
This library's kind of become the heart of the community.
Yeah, and that was really our goal along, is to make this into the living room of the community.
This living room has a coffee shop and local history museum. And for that lived-in feeling, activities for the community, like story time for toddlers.
They gathered close until.
And cooking classes for teens.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you.
The new library is a hit, with folks checking out over 5,000 books in its first 4 months.
Honestly, this library has become kind of like my little safe haven.
You hear people debate, do you need a library, do you not? And once you see it and once you see how involved the community is with it, we've definitely needed it.
I never really imagined that Frontenac would be getting one.
If Richard and Jeanette were sitting right here, right now, what would you say to them?
What do you think? I would want to know their opinion. And if they didn't like something or thought we were missing something, I'd be asking, well, how can we make it right? I would want them to be proud of the building just like we are.
You think they'd be proud?
I think so.
So, do you know where they're buried?
Yeah, right over here.
After some more research, Nutt made his most important discovery. The Tavelas were buried just down the road.
So the only real indication that they ever existed is this gravesite and now that library.
Right.
That library is their legacy.
It is very much their legacy.
Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt.
What is the lesson you think our viewers can take away from this story?
Anybody can leave a mark, whether it's big or small. Everybody can have an impact.
For CBS Saturday Morning, Ian Lee, Frontenac, Kansas.
A single puppy has inspired thousands of people to donate to the Pasadena Humane Society. It happened because they embraced his imperfections. Here's Nicole Comstock from CBS News Los Angeles.
With the chubbiest little paws, Peanut the puppy without a nose is strutting straight into people's hearts, proving that you don't need a sense of smell to find your path forward.
Peanut is a very remarkable little puppy. It's 2.5 months old, so it is a lot for a little baby, but he is definitely a fighter.
Leslie Garcia says a Good Samaritan found Peanut in Arcadia with a traumatic injury to his face that left him without most of his nose and with a dislocated jaw. Animal control officers rushed him from an emergency vet clinic here to Pasadena Humane.
Our amazing veterinary staff quickly placed a stent in the one nostril that he still had open in hopes that the skin wouldn't grow over the nostril hole, but it did grow over.
But dogs with this type of injury adapt remarkably well.
And the vets here at Pasadena Humane say that Peanut should do just fine without his nose. He's just a permanent mouth breather now.
He might look a little different to us, but we think he doesn't know a thing.
They posted Peanut's story to social media, and thousands of people responded, many donating to Pasadena Humane's Miracle Medical Fund to help provide life-saving treatment for Peanut and other severely injured animals.
Everybody loves little Peanut, and we're so grateful for our staff and our community who are able to give him the best life that he'll have.
Once Peanut's all healed up, he'll be up for adoption.
You're going to have no problem finding a family.
While he does make an interesting snortle sound now, he still has quite the playful puppy bite.
Ooh, good one.
And he's even developed his own signature style, leaving his little twofers out on everything, even while he sleeps.
Coming up, we visit a monument that represents the people, 4 of them to be exact. Plus, David Begnow's latest story is about the people who believed in you.
There are 2 people immediately who come to mind. In high school, I struggled a lot with my mental health. The people who believed in me were my teachers.
CBS News is celebrating the United States ahead of its 250th birthday on July 4th. This week, we focus on a monument that honors 4 famous people. It's not the Beatles. Any other guesses? Vlad Duty has the answer.
It's one of America's best-known monuments. Who's on Mount Rushmore?
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know.
Not even one?
Can I have a hint?
Or is it?
Were they presidents?
They were presidents.
Oh God.
Some dead presidents. Yes.
George Washington? Andrew Jackson? I don't know the last one.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and 2 other guys. Boy, I'm doing great.
Mount Rushmore National Memorial sees more than 2 million visitors a year. But few people we spoke with in New York could tell us much about the 60-foot tall sculpture carved into South Dakota's Black Hills.
This is a 6-foot head, and the head on the mountain is 60 feet.
Sculptor Gutzon Borglum was hired to design an attraction to bring visitors to the state, a tribute to 4 famous American presidents. George Washington to represent the nation's birth, Thomas Jefferson for its growth, Teddy Roosevelt for development, and Abraham Lincoln for preservation. In 1927, some 400 workers, mostly miners, began removing large chunks of granite with dynamite and jackhammers before finer detailing. Construction continued for 14 years.
The sculptures of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, work begins on the head of Abraham Lincoln.
And you give it a nice whack.
Chris Pelletieri is the stone carver based in New York City.
So when you look at Mount Rushmore as someone who does this for a living, what do you see?
I see a sculptor who probably had a tremendous ambition to do big things. It's the salesmanship challenge to say, sure, it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's going to be like people are going to travel from all over the world to see this.
For those commissioning sculptures like the ones here in Pelletieri's studio, part of the appeal is the appearance of permanence, a work of art literally set in stone. But for the Lakota people, indigenous to the land where Mount Rushmore was built, that permanence can feel more like a scar.
This is where we originated. It's like our Garden of Eden. Sitting Bull, Hunkpapa Lakota.
Jeffrey Means is an associate professor of history at the University of Wyoming and a member of the Lakota Nation.
When I see Mount Rushmore, I have a visceral kind of negative reaction to it because it's a symbol. It's a symbol of oppression that continues for Native nations today.
That symbolism is glaring. Borglum had white supremacist leanings and ties to the Ku Klux Klan. And the faces he etched are associated with decades of broken treaties and the seizure of land from the Lakota Nation.
As an American, I always loved the wonderful things that these presidents did, but putting it in the sacred heart of the Black Hills, you can't simply say, gee, it's been a long time, why don't you get over it?
Though Mount Rushmore's history cannot be erased, for better or worse, in all its complexities, it's become a landmark of American culture that means different things to different people as they gaze upon the colossal facade. Who would you put on your own personal Mount Rushmore?
Susan B. Anthony.
Okay.
Elton John.
Oprah Winfrey.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Elvis.
And then Dave Horgan. I play a little guitar, so what the heck, you know what I mean?
This is the first. This is a first. Throwing yourself up on Mount Rushmore.
Why not?
Coming up, David Begnow shows us how important it is to have someone who believes in you. Our last story is from a young woman who shares the struggles of her teen years. She felt like giving up, but she kept going because two people believed in her. Some of the details may be difficult to hear. David Begno shares this powerful story of Caitlin Ha and the people who saved her.
We set up our sign at the Grove in Los Angeles and met college student Caitlin Ha.
There are two people immediately who come to mind.
When Caitlin was in high school, her world felt heavy.
In high school, I struggled a lot with my mental health.
Her mom, Vanessa Dang, a single parent raising 4 kids, was fighting breast cancer. And while Caitlin worried about her mom, she kept her own struggles mostly to herself, until she couldn't anymore.
It got so bad to the point where I attempted suicide in my sophomore year of high school.
But at Westview High School in San Diego, help showed up.
The people who believed in me were my teachers.
In school counselor Vanessa Ho and journalism teacher Jeff Winger.
She would be absent, for, a few days or stretches at a time.
I couldn't keep my eyes open to go to school.
When she was at school, I'd say probably like 75 to 80% of the time was in my office or in the journalism room.
When she was here, she was so locked in and all in, and she was curious and engaged and interested in learning.
And then at some point, she just fell off. Like I didn't hear from her anymore.
And that's when they stepped in to help.
And so I started reaching out, just like, hey, are you good? Like, I haven't heard from you in a bit.
I thought that everybody would just be better off without me in the world.
Her mom had emailed me and said, my daughter is in the hospital.
On December 16th of 2020, I attempted suicide. Hi, my name is Caitlin Ha.
We went to San Diego to share Caitlin's words with Vanessa and Jeff.
And the other, my school dad.
That's us.
They're just two people who really believed in me. And I think in those moments where you're giving up on yourself and you feel like all hope is lost, they show you there's humanity in the world and it gives you hope to just have a future. I wasn't going to apply to colleges, and these two teachers, they encouraged me to apply despite my very shoddy transcript and just my lack of hope and belief in myself. So I love them so much.
Caitlin, we just saw this video. That was really cool.
Hi.
You talked about us. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you iced tea because I didn't think you'd like flowers. And flowers for you.
I do like flowers, but
Oh,
that was really sweet.
I actually prepared something to say to you. Dear school mom and school dad, when feeling worthless and incapable became the new normal, you instilled feelings of confidence and competence. But when I came back to school, you were there, and you never left again. With so much inconsistency I've faced in my life, that stability has meant the world to me. You let me study under your table in your office. You let me cry laying down on the floor as other students side-eyed. When things got bad and I wouldn't go to school, almost not graduating, you told me you would pick me up from my house if that's what it took.
She came in and she started on this thing, I got rejected from here, I got rejected, and I'm waiting because I'm like, no, she's starting this way because she's gonna tell me she got in somewhere. And I'm like, okay, tell me where you got in. And she's like, I got into UCLA. And I was so happy for her in that moment because I knew she needed that.
growing up, it's pretty daunting. The future, the uncertainty of everything. And so anything we can do to just help encourage them. And what Caitlin really has going for is that she has heart.
She's gonna be a part of my life forever, and I'm very lucky to have that.
I want you to both know how happy I am right now. I go to the gym consistently, I'm talking to a cute boy, I have therapy twice a week, and a popping social life. I just finished, albeit the 2 easiest classes at UCLA, and a seminar with an A+, and a pass. It's funny because I almost didn't graduate high school. I almost didn't apply to colleges because I didn't think I stood a chance. You have both changed my life for the better. I hope you know the impact you've had. Thank you for believing in me.
That's our show. I hope this news brightened your day and lifted you up.